Gimli. How are you, Gimli? Let's go outside. Come here, Gims. Come on, go. There you go. Good boy. Come on, step. Sit. Nope, that's a fly. Thank you. Good bird. I need to do that way. And this is Gimli. Gimli is a male American Kestrel. And this is full grown. This is as big as American Kestrels get. One of the few times you can tell a male from a female in raptors just by looking at the feathers. You'll see he's got pretty blue on his wings. He's got a solid chestnut tail and a dark band at the bottom. And that tells you it's a male. If it's a female, instead of that, what you'd have is a solid chestnut color all through the whole back and wings. And then you'd have brown stripes all across the wings and down the back and down the tail. He weighs all of 4 ounces, quarter pounder, no lettuce, no cheese, no tomato. The females are ever so slightly larger. They're about 5 ounces. And we named him Gimli because he's small, but he's mighty. So he will tell you all about it. Gimli here is now 6 years old. We've had him since he was probably about 3 months old or so. And he'll live to be somewhere around, 12 to 14 years old. Now the reason we have Gimli is because he is a human imprint. When he was a chick, his nest box was destroyed, and some people took him home and tried to raise him up themselves. And they did a pretty good job because, you know, at least they gave him the right amount of food and the proper food, and he was pretty healthy. And so he was released on the state capitol grounds when he was big enough to fly. But the problem was, because he'd been raised by humans, he didn't like other birds, didn't want to hang around other kestrels that were there at the state capitol complex. He was released on a Sunday. Monday morning our phone started ringing because Gimli was hungry, and he was now landing on top of people's heads and shoulders and asking for food. And the next day it was even worse. He started biting people. So that's when he became an ambassador. American Kestrels are actually a bird that hangs out here all year long, particularly during the wintertime. They're along the bigger rivers and waterways where they can find food more easily. And you got your chest right there. There you go. But they eat small things like mice. They'll go after shrews. They'll go after small snakes and lizards. In the summertime, they eat what we call juicy bugs, things like grasshoppers, cicadas, and katydids. They also seem to enjoy things like mealworms. That's one of his treats, as a matter of fact, when he's out doing our public education programs. Sometimes he'll get a treat of mealworms, and he really, really likes them. So I thought we'd show you a little bit today about American Kestrel nest boxes, because they do nest in hollow cavities, and that's one of the reasons they're having troubles. Their populations are in decline. Some of it is because of nesting habitat, so we thought we'd maybe go ahead and talk to you a little bit about what sort of a nest box American Kestrels would like. And Gimli here is weird because he doesn't like nest boxes. Part of that's because he's a human imprint, and we think that he was traumatized when his nest box was destroyed by whatever it was. So you may notice that he really likes this basket right here. That is his basket. He has loved that basket since he first met it, and so that is his home when he's indoors. That's what he chooses to be in. We've tried putting nest boxes out for him. He won't even go near them. But I wanted to show you what a nest box for American Kestrels look like. And by the way, it's the same size for screech owls. So if you have pine trees and stuff around your house or in your neighborhood and you want to put up a nest box for screech owls, it's the same thing. Okay, this is a nest box either for screech owls or for American Kestrels. This is a commercial one. We have another one here in the cage that was made by another friend of ours. But it is a stay-at-home time. If you have wood to make one of these, it's great. Please make sure you do not use treated lumber. Okay? If the treated lumber is very bad on the skins of the youngsters that get raised in this, it's not good for the adults either. But when you're making a box, nest box, you have to remember that you need to have it so you can open it and clean it out. So you need to have a gap either along the side, if you're going to open it from the side, or if you're going to open it from the top, from the front, you need to do it here. So you have a gap here. We do not recommend putting a hinge on the top, because if you get a severe storm, there goes your lid. Okay, so you want to keep three sides down on the lid, and then have one. Usually the side is the easiest to have it open. But you can see here, this box is actually a little, about 8.5 inches deep here, and it's about 8.5 inches wide. And the front of it, you can see, is about 15.5. And of course, we have an angle on this lid here to keep the rain and snow and other things off of it. So the very back of it is actually 17.5 inches. And then, of course, going across here, it's a little over, it's about 9.5 inches. Okay? Now, you may notice that there are no perches here, and there's a very good reason for that. Over and over and over again, it's been shown that if you have a box that's up and you put a perch in the front of it, the predators tend to use that more than the birds that are actually trying to nest in there. So please do not put perches on the front of your box or within 15 to 18 feet of the 15 to 18 inches of the box. Now, we have the box that you're looking at here is actually in Felix's indoor-outdoor run, so we have all sorts of extra perches around because it's a different situation and he's in a cage here. But you can see there's a little extra square put on the outside here. This is actually a predator baffle. Raccoons are bad for getting in and trying to get at the babies. So, and this actually helps keep them, their arms can't quite get down in there. Without that extra square on the front of it, it's a lot easier for predators such as raccoons to reach in and get the babies. When you're building an American Kestrel nest box or Eastern Screech Owl nest box, you have to remember that the hole has to be about 3 inches in diameter, and it needs to be put anywhere from 10 to 30 feet off the ground. So you may need a ladder for this one.